Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
We have started our journey in Saundarya Lahri, and by now we have covered 3 shlokas, correct? Out of the 3, the first shloka itself, you may have thought, declares Shakti's supremacy. You may have thought. Because it was said, Shiva Saktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum. And therefore, this notion may be in your head that Shakti is supreme. Okay. We do say Shakti is supreme. But when we say Shakti is supreme, we are talking of that absolute Shakti, which is the 36th Tattva. The duality here, which is being described as Shiva Shakti, starting from the first to second, if you come downward, so 0th, right? Tattva is that absolute Shakti, which we call Mahatripura Sundari. And the ones which is being seen here, and the Shiva as a counterpart, is to be taken as equal. Okay. So neither Shiva can be treated inferior, and it would be wrong to say that Shiva is Shava without Shakti. And let me tell you why I am saying so. All the while you had this notion that without Shakti, Shiva is Shava. But without Shakti, Shiva doesn't exist. In the same way, without Shiva, Shakti doesn't exist. You should know this. Let us take an example of fire. Fire is its burning capacity. Right? The fire, what we call fire, is because it has burning capacity. Correct? Without the burning capacity, the fire cannot be defined. But at the same time, without that entity called fire, without that entity which we perceive as fire, you can't have that burning capacity. You can't personify it, is it not? So there is a potentiality, and there is something which is already exhibit. And it can happen at different levels. You see, when we talk of visible field, the fire which is a substratum is seen without even experiencing its burning capacity. So there, that exhibit substratum you can take as Shakti, right? And the one behind it is Shiva. Correct? When we go to that visible domain, in the visible domain. And when it comes to actual case of burning, then that flame becomes that substratum, and the burning capacity becomes Shakti. So the flame itself becomes Shiva, and then the burning capacity becomes Shakti. So in its whole system of Saundarya Lahri, if you understand this clearly, and you should rather, that this text is being written by a Advait Vedantin. Okay. It is being narrated by a person who was the propounder of Advaita Vedanta. Okay. And if you feel that this is where Shankara has deviated from being a Vedantin, would be wrong, because he's a hardcore Vedantin. And therefore, you should see some elements of Advaita before we proceed further. Although it has got all the notional values, conceptual values, the concepts, and the experience which we call percepts, everything is there. However, you should not forget that this whole system where Shankaracharya is defining Shiva Shakti union, he has separated himself from this. You see, what he's saying in the first verse, if you remember, Shiva Shaktya yukto yadi bhavati shaktah prabhavitum na chedevam devo na khalu kushala spanditomapi atastvam aradhyam hari hari virincha dhivirapi pranantum stotum va katham krita punya prabhavati. That means, now out of these, all of these, he is treating himself separate. Katham akata punya prabhavati. Look at it. Look at the beauty of it. In this, what drama you are seeing here, in the form of Shiva Shakti and the three gods, which are, of course, working at the command of that couple, that Yugma, and there is one which is witnessing it. There is one which is propitiating it. There is one who is appreciating the beauty of it. So here, if you look from the philosophical point of, which is of course very high, and we cannot take that tonality, that understanding throughout the text, because many things will go beyond your understanding there. So we'll have to honor the limitations of the listeners here. We'll have to recognize the limitation of understanding. And therefore, we will define by that line that Shakti is supreme, or Shakti is operating in such and such way, and all that. But let me tell you, each and every verse is declaration of Advaita principle. This is something which you will not be able to find out. You'll have to contemplate deeper and deeper and deeper to find out whether this Advaita principle is manifest here or not. Poonam, I'll take your question later. Okay, keep it with you. If it dissolves during the talk, good. If it doesn't, you can ask that. All right, so here, the three gods and goddesses, or whatever pairs, if you want to take them as well, because the Brahma, and then of course will be conjoined with Saraswati, or then Rudra will be conjoined with another counterpart. Vishnu will be, so that way, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and the three gods. Again, the duality is there, right? They are also operating through their Shaktis. So Shaktas will follow that, from Mahashakti to Shiva Shakti to all the Shaktis. And then all the Shaktis in this world, in whatever way you're experiencing, perceiving, and recognizing them. Is it clear? Is it clear? You should be very, very clear about it. That what we are referring to as I, which is the highest declaration, in the Shaiva philosophy also, who are taking that highest expression to be Paramashiva, they say Aham Brahmasmi. They say Shivoham. That's the place which we are referring to as Mahashakti or Mahatattva. Okay. So if someone wants to see it as a normal, ordinary person, and we tend to compare because we have been enjoying the comparison only in this world, right? Comparison only, right? We say that this is lotus and it is more beautiful than a rock. So this comparison always exists. We always say you are foolish than that person. You are more intelligent than that person. You are more dependable than that person. And since our whole system of comprehending this world, perceiving this world, is loaded with that kala, what we know as kala, the grades of capacities, we are bound by, surrounded by the time, space, raga, avidya, kala, and therefore it is but natural that we will say either Shakti is more superior or Shiva is more superior. This is our limitation. Not that either of them is superior. Correct? What Saundarya Lahri basically is talking about here is bliss and waves of bliss, right? Waves of bliss, waves of beauty. These are the two things in part, if you want to see. Collectively, we are calling it waves of beauty, Saundarya Lahri. Now, look at this term Saundarya first, or Ananda first. And Saundarya would be a better word to clarify this concept probably. You see. The Saundarya is the union of, the Saundarya is the produce of the union of knower and known. Okay. Understood what I mean to say? There is a knower and there is a known, the object which you perceive, and there is a perceiver. When we say there is beauty, then this beauty is beyond the two. Neither it is knower nor it is the known, but something else has appeared. Yes or no? Which is transcending the known and knower. Look at it. Therefore, what he is talking here, that though we are discussing Shiva Shakti as a couple, Shiva Shakti as substratum and the capacities, but what we are interested in, how we want to actually look at it, it is not a concept. It should become a, what you call percept, an experience that will be of beauty. And that is you. Look at it. So while you propitiate Shiva, while you propitiate Shakti, but it is all, if you are doing it from the level of ego. No worship is possible at the level of soul, Purusha. Got it? No devotion is possible at the level of Purusha. It's only at the level of Ahankara Chatushtaya, the causal body, the subtler aspect of ours, through which the devotion happens, through which the application of principles in practicality happens. Got it? Simply it means that who is devoting himself to that Devi and becoming Shiva? That means what? If I am devoting to Devi and my ultimate experience is going to be that I am Shiva, right? What does it mean? That these two extremes of I and her, the perceiver and the perceived, has to be transcended to come to that experience of I am Shiva. or I am one with the Supreme Shakti, what we call Mahaprabhu. Got it? Correct? So let us be very clear that all this Saundarya Lahri should not take away the basic concept here, which we are going on, the path, the journey, everything, the concept, the principles, the Guru Mandala, what we are led to the experience of self. So Saundarya Lahri should become a means, a way of reaching that experience of self. Look at it. You should be very, very clear about it. It should not become a Ichha Purti Grantha, which I said. It can become as a multiple layers and levels of application. You see, anything and everything, whatever exists in this world, can be applied at different levels. Right or not? Right or not? See, you may be having the best of the phones in your hand, maybe iPhone 99, let's say. Okay, sometime it will come. iPhone 99, you're having the best of the best gadgets, and suppose you get angry at somebody so much so that you want to just find out something to hit him, throw at him, and you don't find anything. What will you do? I'm sure you'll just treat that object, whatever it is, as a what you call, as a stone, as something which should be used to hurt somebody. Although iPhone is not meant for that. Look at it. So whenever a situation, a different kind of situation arises, the same thing definitely be used for the lower purposes. Is it not? Look at your life and you would have seen that many a times we are not using that particular instrument, capacity, situation to the potential it offers, to the opportunity, to the highest value it can deliver. Yes or no? The same goes true with our own being and our own human incarnation. We are not making the best of it. So, this body was not supposed to engage in this world and create me, my mind. This Ahankara Chatushtaya and this finest of instrument was given to us to recognize who we are. But are we not using the so-called iPhone 99 just to hurt and diseases in cell? Is it not? So this is what you need to always remember, that all of us, I hope I was audible so in between. Was I? Or did you lose me?
आचार्य जी बीच में आपका आवाज थोड़ा सा कट रहा था.
Okay, जहां से गया वहां से बताओ भाई. Wherever you lost me, tell me. Till what point you heard me?
iPhone 99 लैग था.
iPhone 99 से थोड़ा लैग हुआ.
iPhone 99 has not yet come, but anyways, I was saying that this body of yours, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying that this body of yours, this opportunity, this instrument which has been given to you is not being put to its best use. Right? Right? We are not using it to the capacity which it has. We are not utilizing this human incarnation to what it can offer to us. The same thing can happen with this text which we are studying now, Saundarya Lahri, and we should not allow that. Okay. All right. So the iPhone is a problem. Let us not discuss that. Yeah. Let us keep away from that. The type will not destroy our beauty, waves of beauty. Okay, so in a nutshell, what I was saying that anything which happens to be available to us, it is utilized as per our capacity of using that. But okay, got it? As per our capacity. Now, even our capacities are utilized as per our capacity. Look at it, the paradox. Even our capacities, potentialities, we are utilized as per our capacity. Are we not dependent? So much, there is a circular movement. And therefore, as I was giving this example, that the best of the best gadgets in your hand may serve only the purpose of a stone, right? When you get angry, you're not in the right frame of mind to use it. Yes or no? When capacities are diminished, when your consciousness is covered with the malas, so best of the best things become useless. Kind of, I mean, of course, as I gave you example of Mercedes, that Rolls Royce being used as a garbage carrier, is the same way. Our whole human body, this human life we have gotten, but what for we are using this? Is this the purpose of you or use of this life which we have gotten? So best of best use is possible when we become disillusioned, free of malas. You have the capacity, but the capacity will be utilized when you are freed from the delusion. Okay? That's one. However, the second thing which is pertaining to this text is also the same. This text is, of course, the proclamation, the declaration by Shankara to point to that truth, to point to that absolute. The purpose of this is similarly can be defeated if we start using it only to fulfill our wishes. Got it? Only to say that it is a Iksha Purti scripture from Lord Shiva or Lord Shankara, right? Yes or no? This is definitely not the case here. Each and every verse, as per your desires, as per your capacities, should be utilized in the best possible way. Correct? And I don't take away your right from choosing which purpose you want to use it. But the way you are using it will definitely tell a lot about you. To yourself, don't tell me, right? What for you're using it? What for this shloka is being used? What for whether I am understanding it and trying to contemplate over the meaning, and I don't bother about anything in this material world. I don't want any transaction to happen. Rather, I just want myself to be revealed through it. You see? Got it? This is the purpose of this whole scripture. But anyways, as I said, depending on the capacity, the same computer or the same mobile phone which you may be using, its different functionalities for carrying out different intricate complex functions maybe. Maybe you are using calculator, scientific calculator, which is also an app there. You may be using some other plotters. Maybe you may be using editing softwares. Maybe you're using multiple things. But the same in the hand of the person who has nothing to do, nowhere to go, what he'll do? Candy Crush. He has no other crush in his life, has only crushes for candy. So it's okay. And the candies are loved by kids. So anybody who's crushing candies around, you should understand what is the level of intellect. Yes or no? So that is how each of these verses are going to be utilized. The way where you are, the kind of vision you have got. Okay? And not only this, by the way, each and every occasion of life, each and every relationship of life, each and every opportunity of life, we can use it best to our capacity when we become the best. And we becoming best is not a discovery. It is not that you have to do something to become best. Rather, you'll have to undo so many things to become the best. Because you have accumulated so much with that dirt, filth, opinion about self. I'm beautiful. Yeah, most of people are beautifuls. So better, instead of becoming beautifuls, try to see what is this meaning of beauty. Beauty means totally uncontaminated. Whatever existence it is uncontaminated. Right or not? Wherever we go, we say, 40 years back, this place was so serene, so beautiful. Now what has happened? Oh, so many hotels have come up, so many resorts have come up, so many people you are seeing here. So what is happening here? Nothing else has happened except that it has become covered with something else, which is what not. So remember, for you to become the best, you have to not do anything. You don't have to. You only have to undo things. We have covered ourselves with many unwanted things. Whatever be our age, we continue to remain 14-year-old kids. Is it not? So we need to grow. See, we becoming old, there is no contribution of ours in becoming old. We should not demand the respect, just because we are old. No contribution. Okay? You are respected for what you are inside, on the subtler aspect of yours. What is in? That what decides whether there is to be respect or not. Right? So wherever you are, even if you're listening to this and saying, I'm just 20 now, what I need to do? That means I'm better off than my parents. Then you need to look at it. The moment you say, I am better off, which means you have again accumulated something upon you. It will hold you from what you are. It will stop, it will become barrier in your relating with the person in between, that I am better than this. You see, wherever between two people, one feels I am superior or anyone feels I am inferior, the connect can never happen. You recognize this or not? And that so-called superiority or inferiority is not the reality. It's only imposition. It's only a concept which you are keeping in mind. In the same way, I would simply advise you to treat yourself as pure souls at the core, which you are, and which you declare every time you come to any of the satsang. I don't know how you feel about yourself, when you're transacting in day to day, whether that time also, those moments also, you feel I am Shiva, or I am a son of Shakti, or I'm, consort of Shakti, whatever way you want to perceive it, or you feel like I am the guinea pig, upon whom all the world's experiments are being done. You may think like that. Some people like to have this opinion about them, that they are the most poor, pitiable people on the planet Earth. If you think about you like this, you are that, because you are what you think about yourself. Okay? So with this understanding that we are not limited by anything, we are not covered by anything which is undoable, unremovable, undroppable, uncleanable. Understood? Everything we are attached to, we feel that we are attached to, or we know we are attached to, you should immediately recognize this attachment is an illusion. Recognize it. Nothing called attachment. I'm so much attached to this person, this place, this thing, this relationship. What is that attachment? What is that attachment? This, I'm very attached to my flat. I'm very attached to my country. What is this attachment? Look at it. Nobody is calling you to get attached to that person or place or thing. And if they are saying, verify it 10 times. You see, instead, I would say that if you really investigate whether somebody wants you to be attached to him or her, is he really wanting it, or only trying to suck your blood out of it? This attachment. Look at it. And you will recognize nobody is attached to anybody. There's such a word which is, of course, let us not use a bad word here, selfishness, but I'll say it's mutually dependent world. You can't survive alone. You may give any name to this, beautiful name you give, and then you start imagining it's a beautiful thing. But just by giving a beautiful name to something, it doesn't become beautiful. It will still be that transactional, mutually dependent kind of interaction, where you will want something and other will also take something from you, whether you give it or not, whether in your own knowledge it happens or not. Understand? So with all that understanding and all that limitations we have gotten, we may feel that we want to use Saundarya Lahri for removing all those hurdles and all. It's your choice. I'm not stopping you from doing that. Kamya Prayog or Iksha Purti, or warding off your negative traits of personality, or getting rid of your enemies. You are better judge. Who are your enemies? You want to get rid of it, and using the mantras you can. There will be mantras, by the way. So you will have to really become uncluttered, clear in your vision, clear in your understanding, how and where to use it. And what is the ultimate purpose of it? I have already told. The ultimate purpose of each and every verse, each and every shloka of this Saundarya Lahri is a declaration that the perceiver and the perceived, when they become one, there is another thing, transcendental thing, which appears, and that is called beauty. So our focus is on that transcendental thing, transcendental experience, which takes us to that, nearer to that absolute in each and every situation you can see, right? Okay. Now, wherever we stand today, wherever we are in this world today, we are amid infinite, you see, and such an advantageous position. Such an advantageous position we have. You see, look here, stand in, and look here. Infinite expanse. Backside, infinite expanse. Right side, infinite. Left side, infinite. Up, infinite. Down, infinite. No limit. So, frankly speaking, we are the creature of infinite. We are the dwellers of the infinite without ever recognizing that infinite, giving even acknowledgement to that infinite in which we dwell. And the moment you just take away these so-called directions or want to move your consciousness in all the directions once at the same time, what will happen? I can tell you, you will disappear. You will disappear. Try it. And therefore, in this third, fourth verse, whichever we are coming now, we will explore that understanding. The mother has to dwell in this infinite, being the part of infinite, and also being the part of us, which I said in the first lecture, that mother being apara, parapara, and para, right? All the three places she exists. Only we have to become aware of it. So we can start our journey from any side. Any side. You see, you can directly turn inward and become one with that para if you have capacity. If not, and most of us don't have that capacity, we are not trained like that. In no school you have been trained to think. You have been trained to think? No, you just think. Thoughts keep coming to you and you think you can think. Okay? In no school, in no college, in no institute, you have been taught how to think. And you think because there are so many thoughts, therefore I am thoughtful. No, you are thoughtful. Okay. Okay. You are being fooled by the thoughts. Understand? You are being deluded by your own thoughts. Right? And we think that we have become so much wise only because so many thoughts are coming to us. See, if you have been trained in driving a vehicle, let's say, right? So the first thing which any trainer will teach you, how to start it and how to stop it. Yes or no? Yes or no? So if you don't, become completely aware of these two ends of it, that how to start it, how to stop it, can you say that I know about this, I know how to drive? A person will say, you don't know how to start it, you don't know how to stop it, and you claim that you know this, you can drive this, you can operate this. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now the same principle you apply on your thinking, which you think you are doing. Can you start your thinking? Can you stop your thinking? If you can't start your thinking and stop your thinking, how can you say that you are thinking and you know how to think? At least this has stopped your thinking for a while. So you should have that capacity to engage your mind when you want, at your will, and stop it when you don't want to. And that's the ultimate problem. When you can do so, you can say, I am a thinker, right? Like you can say, I'm a driver, because I can start the car, I can stop the car. Then only you are a driver. You're a thinker if you can start your mind and you can stop your mind. So drop this notion of being a person who is a thinking person. You are instead victim of your thoughts. You're not thinking, by the way. Thinking is happening and you are helpless. What to do? How to stop? You see? Just like a villager who comes to you to meet, and you try to flaunt your affluence and say, sit on my 900cc motorcycle. I'll give you a ride. And the moment you give him the first gush of accelerator, he say, please, 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 I have never, sat on, I have never ridden any such fast vehicle. Please drop me anywhere. Please stop the car, stop the vehicle. Yes or no? This is your condition. Your free ride on the already happening thinking or thoughts. You're riding and you are suffering. Yes or no? You are suffering. Now we have to come out of this suffering. We have to come out of these expanses. And how can we come out of these? We will see in the fourth shloka. Jyoti, if you have some capacity left, you can.
जी आचार्य जी मैं.
Okay.
त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदौ दैवतगणः त्वमेकानैवासि प्रकटितवराभित्यभिनया भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्यै लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ.
Okay. त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्याम् अभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटित वराभीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं दातुं फलमपि वाञ्छासमधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ. Okay. Now, there are two extremes of our being. One is desiring and one is contentment, complete state of bliss. Desires are always the beginning point, right? The life begins with the desires. As soon as the mother delivers a baby, the first desire of the baby is to be fed. Therefrom, there onwards, desire after desire after desire. And the desire is the beginning, by the way. So we can't undo that, by the way. Let us recognize our position. Desiring is there. But look at it. What is the outcome of a desire being fulfilled? Then if we look at that process, the desiring and subsequent action and then fruit of it, the result of it, if we fully cognizant about the whole thing which is happening, and then only we'll be able to appreciate the whole whole process which is happening. And then we will know why are we at all desiring. You see, Though we seem to be desiring, but why we are desiring? See, a desire happens. Then, of course, if you are capable, you engage in some kind of action, etc. Recognize that desire is there, work on it, and the desire gets fulfilled. When the desire gets fulfilled, there is a sudden burst of bliss. Okay? Because for that moment, when that desire gets fulfilled, you have no other desire. In that fraction of second, maybe, till the time you have a desire, this desire being fulfilled, another desire coming to existence, this is the time when you are in bliss. Okay. So the whole purpose of desire principle in you is to give the taste of bliss. Okay. However, if you know to prolong this experience of bliss, which is the ultimate destination of a desire to take you to, there is no need of desire. You got my point? What I'm referring to? Once you understood the purpose of it, then there is no need to desire. You see, as I always tell you, A for apple, when apple has served the purpose, you throw the apple, keep the A. The purpose of apple was to impart that learning to you. Right? Once the learning is done, you throw the apple away. Yes or no? In the same way, the purpose, if you understand, the purpose of desire, which and desire principle is, by the way, operated without our any active involvement. Yes or no? So this desire, we need to recognize it, why it is happening, why desires are coming to me, and what has happened so far with all the desires I have had, some getting fulfilled, some not getting fulfilled. Then you will see that most of your desires have been fulfilled. The desires which you held longer with yourself have been fulfilled. And that should give you this understanding that even if I had 5, 10,000, whenever it got fulfilled, it took me to that state of bliss. And that state of bliss was achieved when the desire was killed. I'll not use word fulfilled. Desire was killed. Desire was annihilated. So that the moment desire gets annihilated, you recognize that you are in bliss, which simply means the desire principle can take you to the bliss, and it does take you to the bliss. You see, from, as I said, from the five heads of five faces of Shiva, which we say, right? That is Satchid Ananda. We say Chit and Ananda. These are two, and then Iksha Gyan Kriya, 5. Sat is that substratum of Shiva or Paramashakti or Paramashiva, right? From there, these 5 heads are emanating. That Sat principle, that absolute truth. Okay. The first 2, as I said, were Chit, and the Chit experiencing self or Sat was Ananda, right? This was your original state. This is always your original state whenever you are not engaged in Iksha Gyan Kriya. Iksha Gyan Kriya. But look at it. Even this Iksha Gyan Kriya, the purpose of it. Iksha Gyan Kriya is happening only to give you the taste of your own original self, Ananda. Yes or no? Yes or no? So, desire being the lowest principle, because desire is the seed from where jnana happens, and the kriya happens. Go to the root, what happens? Again, Ananda, deeper than that. So there is a horizontal line you can draw. Above that is Iksha Jnana Kriya. Or you can say Iksha as a base thing. Then outside it is Jnana Kriya. Below it is Ananda and Chitta. Yeah or no? Got it? So from this, if we look at our own journey of moving in the direction of desire, even that cyclically takes back to the Jnanam. And then further, jnanam of what? Jnanam of self, that experience of self. This is Chit Shakti, which we call. So Chit Shakti recognizes self. And what is produced? Ananda. Right? So desire is also a vehicle through which you move towards the direction of self. Only if you recognize it. Otherwise, you will feel like as if I'm running towards an object, towards a particular thing. The essence of it. If you go to a juice vendor, let's say some vendor, some vending stall which offers you juices. So do you really ask where that pulp has gone, where he has thrown it? No. You are interested only in juice. Are you interested in the glass he is giving? In the glass? No. You want juice, right? Best of juices, wherever it is offered, it is okay. It is an earthen pot, okay. Glass pot, okay. Yes or no? Because you are interested in juice. So simply, when you are interested in juice, you don't bother about what was the residues, what were the other things associated with it. In the same way, if we are moving toward the direction of iksha, and finally the juice comes as bliss, right? So we should discard all other things and we should concentrate what was the achievement and what was the crux of it. What was the crux of having desire in the first place, right? So desire is the basic principle. Those who say desire should not be you should not have any desires. People will say you should become desireless. No, but how can you become desireless until you recognize that the many desires only increase the kriya, activity part, but lead to the same result. Whatever desire we pursue, it leads to the same result. It is ananda. So whether I have 1,000 desires and versus one desire, what is the difference? You see, if I have 1,000 desires versus one desire, what is the difference? In one desire, less amount of time is spent in action. Yes or no? And more time is spent only one desire. So whenever you desire that, you work on that direction. You have no overload, no desires waiting in queue. So the amount of action reduces. And let me tell you, when you become desirous of one thing or limited number of things in life, what happens actually, that action which you do to achieve that result is also known to you. And you become proficient in it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Suppose you love pakoras. The first time when you entered kitchen, you never made pakoras, you never cooked pakoras. Maybe you need so many inputs from your ma, grandma, grandpa, and whatnot, your neighbor and everybody, internet included. But once you have made it, once, twice, thrice, then what will you do? Anytime you need that, you have this desire of having pakoras, enter in the kitchen, make the pakoras quickly, and come back. So you have become proficient that way, right? So if I have limited desires, I spend a lot of time in bliss. But you recognize only then. Otherwise, you'll say, why should I curb my desires? No, then I'll say, see, I'm stupid, you are intelligent, please pursue your desires. If you see, no, I can see there is a point, what you're saying, then I will become intelligent. In fact, you stupid, follow my instructions. Right? Yes or no? Lesser the number of desires, more time be spent in bliss. It has been your experience also. Look at it. In your childhood, limited desires, lot of bliss. You have experienced it. But if you want to ignore it, it's okay. You can. Now, thousands and thousands of desires, right? Thousands and thousands of desires, leading only to one result, what we call bliss. It remains a momentary bliss only because there are so many others are in queue all the time. That's why. And you have not been able to relish the fruit, the juice out of it. And that is why you're not focused on that. Instead, you have become karmaholic. Understood? Because the process of karma in achieving that state of desirelessness which appears upon the fruit being produced, the duration is very high. So what you spend more time in, you become more proficient in that. And therefore, all your life, you think, if I don't do a thing, why? How can I achieve that blissful state? Got it? Now, look at this verse, this shloka. It is Twadanyah Panibhyam Abhaya Vardo Daivatagana Tomeka Naivasi Prakatit Varadhitya Vinya Mayatratum Datum Falamapi Vancha Samadhikam Sharanye Lokanam Tava Charana Vipuripuro. Right? Yani, look at it, the Devi, if you take Devi as a vertical entity, as a standing entity in front of you, the lowest part, which is representing feet, even that is capable of giving whatever you desire, even more than that. See, yes or no? What you want in life is bestowed by that lower end itself. You don't want that bliss, by the way. Why it is being said? When you run for an object, you run for the object. When you want a person in your life, you run for the person in your life. But the ananda is additional, which is being given when you get it. Understood? Adhikam, more than that. Vancha samadhikam, what you desire, more than that. I wanted car. The car is my principle. More than that, I get ananda. This is bonus. Vancha samadhikam. I wanted only a car. But the car, when I achieved, in the process, I also got additional bonus. This additional bonus is bliss. Is Devi not so generous? Look at it. You pursuing limited things in this infinite expanse, going for the limited. But when you experience bliss, bliss is always unlimited. You can't quantify it. Can you quantify your bliss? Can you quantify your being thoughtless, being motionless, being immersed in the sense of completion of a task and now being at ease? Can you quantify it? This is infinite. So though you started with a limited agenda, what Devi offered was much more than that. Only if you were cognizant of it and wanted to be, wanted to relish, wanted to appreciate what has been offered. Right? So Devi need not give you the boons, it is said. She need not give you the boons. There, when you are moving upward in your consciousness, by the way, at the end of it, when you reach that highest state of consciousness, you have already overcome the desires. There is no need of desires. You got my point? So when you have risen to that zenith of your consciousness, that experience, band of experience, there is no desire at all. The desires are at the lotus feet only, at the lower levels only. And at this lower level, you are actually, Acha, tell me, if you have clear understanding, your whole vocabulary will change and your whole expression will change. If you have seen that in all these desires, you are looking for ananda, you are looking for bliss, then if somebody asks you, what are you worrying for? You say, I thought that I should have a car. Okay. You say, I should have a car. But if you really knew what for, then you say, I'm searching for ananda, which I'll get after having the car. Look at it. The moment you recognize that, then say, okay, no problem. When you will have that engagement of working for that, you will have that ananda. What is the problem now? There is no problem. Are you not in ananda now? No, I'm not, because I am rooted in iksha only. Iksha Gyan Kriya is a different subset which operates by itself. It's a self-automated working. Iksha Gyan Kriya continues to work there. The moment I step onto a iksha, I lose my peace of mind. I lose my blissful state, and therefore, the moment I withdraw myself from iksha and look from the objective perspective, you see, I and the desire and the desired object, the moment you are able to perceive like that, you are already in bliss, whether the object comes or not, because you have seen it. You, the desire, and then all the associated issues, problems, and whatever you do with your own given resources to achieve that target. Yes or no? So whenever a desire happens, the better way to deal with it is recognizing that I am here and the desire has appeared. I am here and there is this desire. Don't lose yourself in the desire. Because because Devi is very, very generous. For those who lose themselves even their desires, she, after all, takes them to that state where they are themselves. What is that blissful state? When desire gets fulfilled, you are back to that place where you should have been. Right? You have nothing to focus on. Every wish is fulfilled because at that moment that wish mattered, that desire mattered, that desire has manifested now. Now desire has been manifested. It has come to you and you have gone back to your original state which you should be and which you are basically Ananda. This is the grace of Devi. But do we recognize it that way? If we can't recognize it that way, we continue to run after objects without recognizing we are running after Ananda. Right? So in this verse, it is said, Twadanyah Panibhyam Abhaya Vardo Daivatagara. Right? See, other gods and goddesses have to pretend. You see? Have to pretend. And they kind of pretend only by posing that I give Abhaya and this Varada Mudra and all. You need not. Oh goddess, you need not. Why? Because your lotus feet are in themselves sufficient to bless the seekers of desires things. You know, those desirous people, bless those desirous people more than that, more than they expect, more than what they expect. So you don't have to do that acting, and that acting is not needed. You see, best examples are fathers. You see, they don't do acting of loving their kids and children. Most of them, not new generation ones. The olden days fathers, they used to be like that. Strict personalities, seemingly undeterred by whatever child is going through. But ask them deep enough. If you go, you'll recognize they're so much full of love for that child. Yes or no? But they don't have to act, they don't have to show it. They don't have to manifest it this way. Crying, becoming sad, talking to 10 people, I'm worried, what should I do, crying, and all that. No, they don't do. Yes or no? And in later verses, Devi is going to be called Purushika. Okay? Purushika. She is being called Purushika. Purushika means what? having all the feminine attributes, but still a Purusha. Right? And therefore, such an acting is not the game of Devi. Other devatas are overtly demonstrating that. Devi need not. This is the basic, what you can say, understanding of this mantra. Okay. If you ask me, and many a times some of you will come, because I seem to be praising each and every verse more than the other. So you'll be confused by the end. Which mantra, Acharyaji, which mantra should I chant? Which mantra should I chant? Most of people come back later and they ask, Acharyaji, 100 verses, is they not possible, you see? But that day you said the first shloka is highest. And that day you said the 10th one is good. Other day you said the 41st will be very nice. Which one should I take? Okay. So for that, all of you, wherever you are, based on that, it is not the first verse which you can actually take up. This is the fourth verse which you can take up, because you are in the domain of, you're already riding that vehicle of Ichcha only. Okay. So just desire of Ichcha being fulfilled. And then, of course, with Mother's grace, if you receive more means what? Receive more means what? Is I want a kid, I want a kid, and you got triplet. No, not that. You see, this is not the more than desiring. It simply means that more in terms of bliss, more which she is adding to it. The bonus is more, and more the bonus, lesser the desire. You see how it moves. The more the bonus means more the blissful state for longer, lesser the desire. And therefore, in a way, Devi helps you by fulfilling your desires, taking you back to your original source, where you belong to, what you really are. That's her grace. That's the additional bonus which you're asking for. And by continuously reminding yourself that, yes, I, as an ego, prostrate to that power which runs the three universes, creates it, sustains it, and destroys it at her will. The devatas, at her command, do all this. She is the original cause of this universe, and I am in that oceanic presence. So my ripple, my desire, it's definitely being heard. Never ever say God is not listening to my prayers. Right? Never ever. Why? Because you are in the substratum of God. Right? Right? It's like a fish saying, the ocean doesn't know how much I'm starving. You are the produce of the ocean. Your whole being is in the ocean. You will dissolve in the ocean. Only ocean knows what is your condition. Is it not? In the same way, if we forget that we are in this oceanic, infinite oceanic presence of Devi, then we'll imagine, Vaishno Devi nahi gaya isliye kaam nahi banta. I've not been to that pilgrimage, I thought, and I promised, and therefore mother is angry upon. Come on, give yourself a break. Change your notions. Wherever you are, as I always say, wherever you are there, and you live in that oceanic presence, which is called Devi. Right? Till you recognize that you live, this you ego lives in your own presence, that absolute. Till that time, you feel that is the correct way to perceive the reality. Understood? I hope it is clear. Word by word meaning you want of this verse? I don't think you would need it. But anyways, if you want, Twadanya Bani Bhyam Abhaya Vardo, Abhaya Varad, Vतगण, other devatas, they are doing all that. Abhaya Varado Vतगण. See, other devatas have this Abhaya Mudra, Varad Mudra and all that. Right? And Abhinaya, Varabhitya Bhinaya, Abhinaya, Varabhitya Abhinaya. It is just like acting. Then you need not do acting because your feet in themselves are sufficient to bestow upon the seeker or desirous person more than he has asked for. Okay, now where are the feet? Where are the feet of mother? That's important now. Now where do I find the feet? The feet is at the level of your desire. That means that as soon as the desire appears, look at it as a lotus at the feet of the mother. Because this is what mother has given. And if you say, I say goddess willing, she will convert it into bliss. Otherwise, the moment you are already witnessing that Devi or experiencing that Devi, even if in your imagination, by the way, you're already in bliss. You're facing the cosmic mother now. All your desires, problems, whatever you are having in your life, they are emanated from Devi. So don't think only good things come from mother's feet. Everything come from mother's feet. The current situation, current issues, current problems which you're perceiving in life, it is also bestowed by mother. And sometimes more than Vancha Samadhikam. You never wanted that, but she is given. Because for her, there is no difference in it. Ananda is not that so-called joy or sorrow. It's beyond that. Yes or no? So wherever, whatever she gives, she will always give more than you expect. Right? More than you expect. And it is so true. We do recognize it only when we are faced with bad times, difficult times. We say, I've been given more than I can handle. But did you ever say, I've been given more than I can enjoy? Did you ever say that? I've been blessed with more than I can ever enjoy. If you can say so, then you're definitely a fit candidate to receive that kind of blessing. Because she has already given more than that. Now, no, but I have started praying from today, so from today onward. No, no. He has already given you more than enough, only if you recognize. This should be our attitude. Okay? Okay.
Acharya, Acharya, in the shlok, there is also this phrase called bhayat tratum. So what is the
bhayat.
fear they're
Abhaya
talking
varad
about?
bhaya abhaya abhayat prat. Bhayat pratu means the one who is out of fear approaching you. They need to give shelter, right? Shelter is for what? Abhaya mudra is for the bhayat prat. Bhaya trat. Bhayat tran means, bhaya means fear, tran means removal. Okay. Bhayat tratum. Okay. So other gods are doing that, showing that we can protect you, we can give you that fearlessness, and they have to show this. That is what Bhayat Tratum.
Thank
you. Okay, so I'm done now. If your question is remaining, please ask. Poonamji.
Acharya ji, I just wanted those first 3 verses because I did not attend the first session.
Okay. First 3 verses you did not attend. You could not attend.
Yes.
For grace. Okay. Now I will give you her grace.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. You'll get that. Don't worry. This time I have given instruction clearly that all the videos have to go a little bit A little bit editing here and there. They will be uploaded. Don't worry. All right. Is it done? Is it done for
Yeah,
you?
Acharya.
Are you feeling blessed? Only if you feel blessed, you can be blissed out. You need to feel blessed to be blissed out. There's no other way. You know, some people write immediately when I say, yeah, this is the golden word. Come on, then prepare it, लिखो नीचे, अज्ञात, और post कर दो. Okay. Why to keep that with you only? If you have gotten so much wisdom and feeling, I have gotten more than enough. I thought in 1 hour I should have. So anyways, so now if any questions, I can spend 10-15 minutes if you have any questions, or else we are done with this. Vivatsa ji? No questions?
No question, Acharya ji.
Okay. Okay. We are now,
Very, very good.
yeah, the group is for Shakti Yoga, not for Shiv Yoga. Okay. All right. Yeah, Chankana, no questions. Sarvani, no questions. Nobody has any question. Good. Pratima is surprisingly not having any questions. She always have one.
Namaste, Acharya. I was about to ask a question. You did talk to that. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. So my question is, that was beautifully explained regarding the desire and the bliss you have at that moment after the desire is fulfilled.
Correct.
Actually, it was really, I don't know how to express it. It was really very, very, very deep thought about that. And that continuous mode of next desire. But even between the desires, Acharya, like the bliss, what you explained, right? That fraction of moment, what you have explained, you mentioned that is the bliss actually what we are looking forward for infinite time, or
Yes,
is there any
yes.
other bliss? I didn't
No.
because
Look
the
at
way
it.
we express or we experience bliss at our level.
I understand that.
So I don't know the
I fully
clarity of the
recognize your
bliss.
question. You need not explain now. Now, what she is asking, in my life, so many times I have experienced that state of being thoughtless and being blissful when my desires were fulfilled. And is that the state? Is that the ultimate state I am looking at? Yes, Pratima, is it not?
Yes, that is one.
Or
Yes.
some more 440 volt currents and shocks are going to come. More than that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also
see,
in between the major desires, Acharya, because there will be always some smaller ones and bigger ones, right? Like what we work for, or what we are always work for. But like normally in between your peace, like it's not like I don't understand that the state of that the peace and the clarity of the bliss itself is not clear to me.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Quickly, I'll explain in as little words as I can.
Okay.
First thing, you people think that you are working for desires, but I can tell you, you are being worked out for. You are not working. You are being worked out. You don't work. You are being worked out. The one who is seeking desire is not the one who is working by them. The one who is seeking and the one ultimately who experiences the bliss is not the one who is actually running after desire. You see, the moment when you experience the fulfillment of desire, and suppose you say, did in that moment, was I aware? Who am I? Look at it. If you were aware who you are in this relative world, feeling that I am the topmost businessman at this moment, you have not experienced bliss by the way. The desired the desired when it comes, and if this fulfillment happens, and in that moment, even if you forget who you are, that is the condition, that is the state which is called bliss. And why that state doesn't come? Because all the while you were pursuing that one desire, you had already become aware of the consequences of associated with completion of the desire. So the moment that desire gets completed, immediately many more things surround you, and you are not able to be that blissful person who you should be on completion of desire. Let's say you want to marry somebody, example, or let's say you want to purchase a car. Marriage is a very difficult subject. Forget it. Okay. Yeah. So you want the one of the most beautiful cars in the world, right? Now, and you want to work for it. You worked for it for let's say you were very lucky to get it in 6 months' time. Let's say you aimed at the world's smartest car, most priced car, right? And therefore you pursued it for six months, and in 6 months' time, mother gave you that. Now, in these 6 months' time, were you not getting aware? If I get this car, it will be difficult for maintaining it. If I get this car, the insurance will be this much. If I get this car, others will become envy of me. If I get this car, so many thoughts have already come by during the journey itself, right? So the moment your fulfillment happens, these all other thoughts immediately come to you, and they clog you, they cover you up, and therefore you are not able to experience that even one moment of bliss. Let me tell you, one moment of bliss also. That state comes only when we are experiencing a state where we have forgotten who we are, and such thing happens. And such thing happens only when our desire is intense. Let me tell you. Suppose you somehow lost your child in Kumbh Mela. Suppose you were walking along, and by mistake you left her finger, she left your finger, and she just disappeared in the crowd. Now look at it. You have no other agenda. You have no other agenda to run after, seek here and there. Just, I want my child, I want my child, I want my child. And let's say for 10 minutes you searched like this, and suddenly your child comes to you. That's the moment, probably. No afterthought, no responsibilities, no hidden strings, no attached responses after that. You just experience the burst of joy when you even forget yourself. You and your child are not two at that moment. When you unite, you become one. This is the kind of experience I'm talking, Pratima. And such moments also come, by the way. It is our problem that we create such desires which take so long to complete that on the way we even lose the joy of achieving them. That's our problem. If suppose you are too hungry, not had anything from last 7 days, too hungry, at that moment only desire is that I want food. And that moment somebody offers you the most, I'll say, any kind of sweet, let's say, it would be like Brahmanandam Paramaswaram. That's the bliss. But intensity of desire will decide whether you experience bliss or not. While going for a desire, fully recognizing, even if I have it, I am not going to become the king or queen of universe. Then you already demeaned it now. So in the same way, the component of bliss is also going to diminish. Got it?
Yeah.
So that way it is said that, so if you can have that kind of joy of just uniting with your child in that moment, you burst out of tears, and so you can't explain what it is. You are You're laughing, crying, smiling, being goosebumps in your stomach, and so much happening, and you being one with your child. This is bliss.
Mm.
Definitely it is. You can't discount it. Right?
Mm.
So yes, but this is just, it is said, just a drop of the ocean compared to what we experience when we experience that state of absolute. Understood? Why?
Yes.
Because now when we reach there, we are unburdened completely. No more other desires. The only one was to know myself. And once that happens, you're blissed out, intoxicated. There's no other desire now. Only this desire was left. And the most important one to have in this human life, now that is coming to fruition. And therefore, okay. So definitely, these are all states when you are closer to you're higher than what you are. You're higher in your consciousness in these moments, what you are. So more focused you are, more intense you are in your seeking, in your desiring, the joy is more, right?
Yes,
At least in terms of worldly affairs. Now, when we are seeking the infinite, right? When we start seeking the infinite, now look at it. The infinite, when it will come to, what will happen? A little child which we are seeking, when it comes to us, what will it be? You know now. And suppose you are seeking infinite, and that infinite just appears someday. You experience that. What it will be like, you can't explain it. I don't think you can compare even. But I just gave you an example that even with this principle of desire is actually aiming you, pushing you toward that bliss principle. And one thing which now you would not ever ask, आचार्य जी आप कहते हैं इच्छा छोड़ो, drop your desire. But even if you want God, that is also desire. Huh? Even if I want to become self-realized, that is also desire. Yes, Tantra accepts it. Even Shankara is accepting it here. That from the lowest and that the most appropriate point to begin your journey is desire. Even the recognition of self, so-called spiritual growth, will not happen unless until you have desire. So desire is that basic principle. So never ever say, no, that is not desire. Somebody wants to justify, no, that is not the desire. That is seeking. Come on. That is also a desire. But now that desire is exclusive of others. Right? What are other desires are? One desire leading to another or connected with other. You see, any desire which is only yours can become intense to the highest level. Otherwise, it will not. Right? And then the fruit of it becomes only available to you. And you can't share it with anybody. Then it will lead you to at least a moment of that bliss. For example, even in your sexual activity, the joy and pleasure and the bliss is of your own. Nobody can share it. That moment, when you are at the peak of your joy, only you know it. Nobody can take it away from you. Neither you can share it with anybody. And that's the moment, that's the window, you can say. That's the window. That's the droplet which you can probably bring to that area of discussion where you say, I experienced something blissful. Okay? That bliss is always yours. So something which comes only to you. You can't share it with anybody. And it is not at all relative. It's only subjective, purely subjective. That is only bliss. So, of course, when I tried to give you a simile in the worldly view, when I said you obtain a desire, then also it is happening, provided you are intensely desiring it, and for a moment you relish your success, you relish your achievement. In that moment, of course, you'll be blissed out. Nothing wrong in it. So both ways it is okay. You see?
Yes, Acharya. Thank you.
So yeah, okay. So finally, the lesson: live intensely. Live intensely, not in multiple directions, limited directions. So far, it's okay not to become scattered in your own personality and reaching here, reaching there, trying to do limited places, limited avenues, but live intensely. Because if you live intensely, then only your such moments are going to come to you. Superficially, no. अब तो हम enlightened हो गए हैं. I have become enlightened. अभी क्या होता है? If I get something, I don't feel good. If I lose something, I don't feel bad. Come on. Are you turning to what you call rhino? Hippopotamus? My skin is very, very thick. I don't feel anything. No, don't kill that ability of sensitivity. This integral part of human experience, that is God realization, also depends on sensitivity, by the way. If you aren't sensitive, you would not recognize those subtle moments filled with the bliss and nectar of that infinite potentiality, which is called deity. You say, dhyan to laga, I got into meditation, but it was very small. Okay, come on. If you would have been sensitive, you'll experience it. Right? So being sensitive is a virtue. But when you're being sensitive, at the same time, be intelligent. Or else you'll become, again, emotional fool. So many fools are. Live intelligently, but live intensely. Those two things you need to carry. A mother is always there to bless you more than you desire. And she has already done it. She's continuously doing it. You see? Right? At all the levels it is happening. You are eating food without a desire to digest it, but it digests. Right? You drink water without a desire to make it reach each and every cell, but she does it for you. Yes or no? So many things are happening. Whether you're aware of it, did you desire all that, what is happening for you? No. Mother does it for you. Right? Simply, you are simply interested in the taste and the satiation of the stomach. This much you're interested. You are never interested how this should become assimilated, become part of your body. Have you ever worried yourself about it? Mother gives you that. The mother is already giving you more than what you need, what you desire. So don't think that it will happen tomorrow when I'll start chanting this mantra. No, this is the nature of mother. That is what it is being told here. It is the very nature of the mother that she always gives more than one desire. So look at your life, you will never feel deprived of her love. Only if you are sensitive enough. If you are intelligent enough. Not like emotional mood. Nothing right happens with me. Go to hell. It will never happen. I have so much pain. Come on, you are alive by the way. As you have pain, dead bodies don't have pain. You don't want to have pain? Dead bodies have no pain at all. You can burn them, kick them, give them to animals, no problems. So let us not just become so much greedy and that we forget that what all we have and what all grace we already enjoying. Just become aware of it and you'll find yourself blissed out even now. Because now for the first time, you will be feeling blessed. And as I said, you need to feel blessed in order to become blissed out. Thank you so much. Shivoham.
Shivam.